Hello everybody, my name is Chatterjon and I'm going to teach you how to translate Castle Story into a language of your choice and then share it on the workshop so other players can download your translation and play Castle Story in that language. If you're already tech savvy and you feel comfortable doing this without an in-depth tutorial, I'm going to do a very quick version of the tutorial, a quick recap at the end of the video, so feel free to skip there if you want to. I will put a link in the description for you to easily skip there. So the first thing you want to do is access the folder where Castle Story is installed. In Humble Bundle, that's up to you where you extracted it, but on Steam, the easiest way to do that is to right-click Castle Story in your library, go to Properties, go to the Local Files tab, and then go to Browse Local Files. That will open the folder where Castle Story is installed. Now you want to go into your Info folder, and once you're in there, if there is no folder called UGC, which by default there won't be unless you downloaded something from the workshop, what you want to do is create that folder. Call it UGC in all capitals, and then inside of the UGC folder you want to create a folder called Languages with a capital L. Good. Now go back to the Info folder, and in the Info folder you'll find another folder called Languages. Those are the official translations that we have put in the game. I'm going to copy the English one in this case, but you can copy either English or French, whichever you're more comfortable with. So copy that folder. Go back into the Info folder, go back to UGC, Languages, and paste that official translation in there. Good. So now I put the official English translation in the UGC Languages folder. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rename that folder to the language that I'm going to translate the game in. In my case, it's going to be Pirate Talk. So I just renamed that folder Pirate. And then I will go into the folder, and what I'll find is two files, a meta.json and a language.csv. The language.csv is the file that actually contains all of the translations. The meta is a file that contains certain variables that the game need to be informed about in order to load your translation. So the first thing you need to do is to open the meta.json, and you can do that with pretty much any text editor, but I recommend using Notepad++ because it's light and it's free. You can find it by Googling the name. Once you are in the meta.json file, the first variable you want to change is codename. So the English one is LOC_EN_CA, which stands for Localization English Canada. In my case, I'm going to do LOC_PR. Basically, what you want to do is start with LOC and then underscore, and then put the code for your language. If you're not sure what the code for your language is, there's a page on Wikipedia called List of ISO 639-1 codes, or you can Google languages code, and you can pretty much find all the codes on that page. It's this first column over here. For example, Croatian would be HR, Hindi would be HI, Komi would be KV, etc. Since Pirate doesn't exist, and I checked before, and there is no language that has PR as a code, I think it's a pretty good example. So, LOC_PR in the codename variable, be sure to leave the quotation marks there. Don't remove the quotation marks or the commas, or that will break the file. The display name is going to be the name that is shown in the game. So in this case, I'm going to put Pirate. Asset version and playable context should be left as they are. Now the language code is going to be the code for your language, in this case PR for Pirate, and then dash, and then capitals for the country code. In this case it says CA because the game was translated in English Canada. Since Pirate doesn't have any specific country, I'm just going to remove both the country code and the dash. Now if there was a country code, for example, if you're translating the game in French for France, you could put FR for French and then dash FR again for France. But in this case, I'm just going to put PR for Pirate. Finally, the language name variable, the first part needs to be the same thing as the display name. So I'm going to put Pirate here as well. And then space, and then the name of the country between parentheses if there's one. Once again, for Pirate, there's none. So I'm just going to put Pirate. Remember to save your file, and now you can close that. The second part that you want to modify is the actual language translation files. Now it is a CSV, and I'm not going to teach you how CSV works in this tutorial, but I will show you how to modify it pretty easily using a free tool, and if you follow my instructions, it's going to work very well. So I'm going to use Google Drive for this, Google Spreadsheets, because it's free and it works very well. The first thing you're going to need to do is, of course, create a Google account or a Gmail account if you don't have one. Sign into it. And once you're signed in, go to drive.google.com. I'm not going to do that because I already have a tab open. But once you're in drive.google.com, you're going to see a blue button at the top left that says new. Click that to create a new document and create a Google Sheets document just by clicking on there. There we go. Now I am in a Google Sheets document. Google Sheets will allow you to modify CSVs, so that's perfect for our purposes. At the top left over here, you can click the Untitled Spreadsheet text in order to name that document whatever you want to. It doesn't really matter. It's not going to end up in the game, so I'm just going to call it Pirate Translation for Castle Story. And now what we want to do is bring that language.csv file into Google Sheets so we can modify it. To do that, I'm going to click on File, Import, and then I'm going to click on Upload over here. And then I'm going to drag the language.csv file into there, and a window will pop up with some options. For the import action, I'm going to select Replace Current Sheet. And for the separator character, I'm going to leave it to detect automatically. It'll work just fine. And then I click Import, and there we have it. Now I have two columns. The left column is the keys, and the right column is the actual translations. So those are like variables that the game looks for in order to translate a certain button. So for example, main menu underscore new game, that's going to translate the new game button that's in the main menu. Update, waiting, cancel, you get the idea. So you don't want to touch the left column ever. The left column should never be modified by the community. We're going to do that ourselves. If you find issues with the left column, let us know and we're going to fix it, because it's important that everybody has the same content in the left column, or else in the game, the translation isn't going to work. So you want to modify the right column. The very first row that you want to modify is actually the language, and it has to be the same thing that you put in your meta.json where it said language name. So in my case, I just put pirate. I didn't put a country between parentheses. So I'm going to click this cell over here, and I'm just going to type pirate, and then I'll hit enter to confirm, and there we go. And now what you want to do is go ahead and translate pretty much every single line that's here on the right side. So new game, I'm going to change that to new adventure because I'm a pirate. Start is going to be start. Back is going to be back. Cancel is going to be never mind. Select is going to be select. You get the idea. Select C. I'm going to call the map C's because I'm a pirate. Select AC. Play is going to be all hands on deck. Now be careful putting text that's too long, and I will show you why in a minute. Edit is going to be change it. Update is going to be update. And no map is going to be no C. Technically, I'd want to keep going and translate everything. Now, something you might notice is that there's quite a lot of strings to translate, and it's no easy feat. But what's really cool about Google Drive is that at the top right here, there's a blue share button. If you click that blue share button, it's going to open this share window, and you can type somebody's email in there, so you can find somebody in the community that also speaks your language and share that file with them by typing their email there, and then click on done, and they'll be able to access this file as well, and you'll both be able to modify it at the same time. You'll, instead of the little blue square here, well, you'll see the little square, which is your color, but you'll see another colored square, and that's going to be your friend that's modifying his cell, so you can be careful not to modify the same cells together, and that'll make the job go twice as fast. Now let's assume that I'm done translating everything here. What I need to do is I need to export these modifications into a CSV file that's going to go and replace this language one, because this one is still the official English translation that I copied from the other languages folder. So to do that, I'm going to go into my Google spreadsheet. I'm going to click on File, and I'm going to click on Download As, and then I will select comma separated values.csv current sheet. This is the option you want. Click that, and it will download the CSV file. In my case, I put it in my downloads folder, which is right there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move that file into my pirate translation right there. There we go. Now, the problem is that the game is going to be looking for a language.csv file, not a pirate translation for Castle Story sheet file. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete the old one, the old language.csv file, and I'm going to rename the one I just copied from Google to language.csv. There we go. So now I can launch the game. I can go into options, languages, and the pirate option is now here. Nice. I'm going to select it. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to click apply, and nothing changed because I didn't translate all the strings. If you remember, I only translated the first few ones, so that's why I don't see anything changed here. I just didn't change the strings in the options menu, but I will go back to the main menu, and there we go. I have my all hands on deck string that I translated here, and this is why I was telling you be careful not to put too much text because sometimes the button just won't fit it. But it's fine for this one. I'm going to click on there, and there we go. All hands on deck. This string was translated. I don't see any other strings that were translated because, like I said, I didn't. Oh, there we go. I got one here at the bottom right again. And the back one is translated as well with an exclamation point. So now that I know that my translation is loaded and it works, what I'm going to do is go back to options, languages. I'm going to select my translation, and I'm going to click send to workshop. Make sure that this is only an option that works if you are logged into Steam, of course. And then in the description, I'm going to put pirate talk for all ye landlubbers. And I'm going to keep it to private because I don't want anybody to actually download this. And then I will click on publish. And after a few seconds, it will send my translation on the workshop. There we go. And I can click on open the item page in Steam. And there it is. And by default, there's no image. If you want to add an image, you can do so by clicking on Add, Edit, Images, and Videos right here. And you can upload maybe the flag that represents the country that speaks your language, or maybe just a nice big image that says the language. It's really up to you. And there you have it. Now people can download your translation. Okay, now for the quick version. In your Castle Stories folder, go to Info, Languages, copy either English or French, which are the official translations. I'm going to copy English. Go back to Info and make sure there's a folder called UGC. If there isn't, create one. And inside of the UGC folder, create a new folder called Languages. And then in that Languages folder, paste the official translation you just copied. And then rename the folder to the language that you want it to be. In my case, it's going to be pirate. And edit the meta.json with your favorite text editor, like so. For code name, it's going to be LOC, and then the code for the language, and then if necessary, the code for the country, but there isn't one for me. Display name is the name that's displayed in the menus. I'm going to put pirate. Don't touch ACID version or playable context. Language code is languages code in small letters, dash country in big letters, but I'm not going to put one for pirate. And language name has to be the same thing as display name, and the country in parenthesis if there's one. Save that, close it. And now the actual strings to translate are in language.csv. I'm going to use Google Sheets to open my CSV, but you can pretty much use whatever you want to. I'm going to import the language file, replace the current sheet. And there we go. Now you have the translation sheet. You want to rename the English tag over here to whatever you have set in your meta.json's language name. In my case, it's just pirate. So I'm going to do that. And now you can actually go ahead and translate the right side column. Please don't touch the left side column. If there's anything in there that needs fixing, let us know and we will fix it. New game is going to be new adventure because I'm translating to pirate. Start, back, cancel, select C, select to C, all hands on deck, edit, update, no C. And then I'm going to go ahead and export that as a CSV again. And then I will take the exported CSV and put it in my translation folder. I will delete the old language.csv because that contains the official English one, which is not what I want. And I will rename the new one language.csv. And now, when you boot the game, go to options, languages, and then your translation should be there. Click on OK, apply, and then the strings you modified will be there. Be careful not to put too much text. As you can see, the buttons will not be able to fit them, but there we go. There's my translation, all hands on deck, select, etc. Now back in options, I can click on my translated UGC translation that I did and send it to workshop by clicking send to workshop. You can put the text you want to, pirates, and then the privacy, and then publish, and it will be on the workshop. Enjoy, and if you guys have any questions that you'd like to know, feel free to post a comment below and we will be happy to help you out. Thank you for watching, and hopefully you guys are going to translate in every single language in the universe, including Klingon.